Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel. Today is as soon as I sit down. Today is the 20th of July 2021. It is a Tuesday afternoon. And my pencil doesn't work. Okay, let's get organized here. I've been doing a lot of catching up. And I went back to knitting socks because I have not done it in a while and I have forgotten what I have learned. And it took me a long time to learn it. So, I will show you my progress. So, how are you today? We are working on this huge canvas. This is the top of the railing. And once we do this, we're actually finished with half of the canvas. This is wool gathering from Diamond Art Club. What is making that weird noise? Always something when you sit down and try to make a video. Does this happen to you also? I swear there's a hidden camera here somewhere. And when I sit down to make a video, it gives a signal for ambulances, fire trucks, whatever, mail person, whatever. It shows up right away. Well, I'm happy to inform all of us that was watching me get a shower in the middle of the kitchen from my new blender, that the blender works absolutely like a dream. I'm very happy I bought it. And of course, we've been making all sorts of things in the blender. We're playing with it with hubby last night, making fruit drinks and vegetable. That tasted real good. I made it with tomato and pepper and onion and carrots. I didn't have any celery, so I used some seasoned salt and a bit of tomato juice, to give. I would suppose it's a non-cooked vegetable soup, but it was good. Nice and spicy too. And I have fresh parsley growing in the window, so put that in, and fresh chives I have. I have an herb garden on my windowsill. This is inside because I live on the first floor and we cannot put the flower pots outside in case of wind or something blows it down and causes an accident, and then we would get sued. You know how it works. If it's your property, you get sued. Somebody breaks a nail on your property, you get sued. This is how it goes. We're having very beautiful weather. Temperature is absolutely perfect. Cannot complain about it. Beautiful summer temperatures without the heat wave. We have no flooding. We had a couple of storms, but nothing more unusual than a heavy summer downpour with some thunder and lightning. You can expect that in the summer. This is Eastern Europe. Well, our health spa has not opened yet. I am rather upset about that. I'm, paid ahead for the whole year. So far, I have not used it once. So I presume they're going to return some of the money. I really don't understand what they can be doing for 2 years. It's not such a big area to, excuse me, but a bug was being persistent. A bug was bugging me. Yeah. So we got rid of that. I'm sorry if if you're into saving bugs, but I would be happy to give it a proper funeral if you wish, But it's my body, and I don't know where that bug has been. Get my point? And it's been bugging me since last night. I opened the window to let it go, but didn't want to go, so yeah. I gave it a chance to run for its life. What can I tell you? This canvas is coming along very nice, considering the fact that I have 5 projects going at the same time. Yeah, I know, I can see you shaking your head. Yeah. Sometimes it happens. And they are all for review. I don't like it when I'm pushed to do something. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. And the fact that, I'm keep on getting emails, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? No, I'm not done. I will let you know when I am done. And you will get the video. Until then, if you stop harassing me, I would get done faster. So, because I did not save all the instructions when I was learning how to make socks, I had to search all over the internet. Mostly I'm on Ravelry, because that's where I was doing the Weeby dolls from. And thank God I found free patterns for everything I need. And for the German short rows, I found a new way of doing it. It's about the same as I was doing, if I remember sort of vaguely, but a little twist to it, which makes it a bit simpler. I have no problem doing German short rows. It took me 2 months to learn it. Once I figured out what I was doing wrong, What was going on was I was doing one part, the first part, which is fine. That's when you increase. And when it comes to decreasing, doing the second part, well, what I had 2 halves. And I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out what I'm doing wrong. And it was very simple, You have to knit the 2 together to decrease. First you increase your stitches, then you decrease them. It's also called a boomerang heel, because, you're going back to where you started from before you started increasing. So this is what's called German short rows or boomerang heel, because you're only doing it, of course, on one half of the stitches, because on the other half, that's your heel. So since I did have a hard time learning it, so I thought I'd brush up on that since, well, how can I say this? I am a little bit limited as far as going outside, because I suffered from heat exhaustion for the first time in my life. Weird as it sounds. So I am not allowed to go out in the sun. Nonetheless, I have a sunburn. Until the second blood test, and then the doctor will tell me if, I don't know, I don't understand this whole thing. I don't think it was from the heat or the sun that I got sick, but that's what they claim. I had heat exhaustion. I had plenty of liquids in me. It was not at noon, it was in the afternoon that I was out. And it's like, almost every day I'm doing the same hike with my Nordic sticks, and I'm like, why would I have an adverse reaction now to the summer temperature when I never had that before? And the doctor goes, yep, you had heat exhaustion and you're not allowed to go in the sun. I go, excuse me, it's summer, there's sun all over the place. I don't know, I don't understand anything anymore. Fine, really. I told them all I had to do was sit down, let me rest, get back to normal, make a big production out of it, call the ambulance, put me in an ambulance comes blaring with sirens. I'm like, good Lord, I'm not about to die. And they give you a once over and poke my finger, check my blood sugar, and I was told my blood sugar is a little bit high because I am dehydrated. I go, really? All the time my blood sugar was low. Well, that's the first time something new I learned. I'm like, okay, sure, go ahead. Sometimes I just stare at the doctors, like, does it say stupid on my forehead? Are you for real? Of course, you get the usual scenario, One doctor goes, you must rest, and you will rest for the next 3 days. The next doctor comes along. Exercise in the fresh air is very healthy. And you're like, excuse me, you want me to rest or you want me to exercise? I mean, unless I'm exercising in bed, could you please explain how that is done? And then they look at you like you're stupid, And they're the ones that said something totally, excuse me, after effects of drinking iced tea and iced water and iced everything. Just when I thought I was over it. So anyway, I have no intention of sitting in here when it's beautiful weather outside. I will be careful about the sun. I don't lay out in the sun and sunbathe anyways, because I am too restless. When I was near my Lake Balaton, I seen ladies park their sunbeds by the edge of the lake, get comfortable, check around, park themselves, and then they go into a coma for the next 8 hours. I'm like, how can you lay there in the sun all day long? I simply don't understand. Seriously, I think they have to go into a minor coma or whatever. Like, they don't even turn over to get tanned on all their sides. I go, well, you're going to be brown in the front and you're going to be white in the back. Just saying. There was a lovely golden-aged couple. They would bring down the little lawn chairs in the morning. The apartment house had the private beach to the lake. And they would park themselves under one of the trees facing the lake, a beautiful lake. I mean, fantastic. Excuse me. Yes, I am in love with our lake. They have a little cooler by their chairs. And the lady comes with a book. And she parks herself down with her book, starts reading it. The gentleman is just sitting in a chair, I guess taking in the view or taking a little cat nap now and then. He doesn't read. Once in a while, regularly they stand up and take a dip in the lake and then go back to sitting in their lawn chair. I thought it was so adorable. I have no idea what was in the cooler because I never seen them eat or drink. But then I wasn't exactly checking up on what they were doing. You know, but after a while, when you see the same scenario every morning, you're like, oh, here we go. They're so cute. I usually like to mind my own business, you know. You leave me alone, I leave you alone. But I do think that near the lake or on the beach or whatever, people seem to be more friendly. They will strike up a conversation with strangers, whereas normally you would just walk by them. I mean, I lived in this apartment house for 2 years, and I don't know any of the neighbors. I said hello, I invited them in for coffee. They said thank you, never showed up. I said okay, good. Coffee is expensive. Why should I serve you free coffee? So I figured I made my first step towards them. It's fine. Absolutely nothing, you know, if they don't want to. I just figured it was the proper thing to do. When you move into a new place, you introduce yourself, you know. So they don't call the cops when they see you coming home from third shift or second shift, you know, like there's a stranger going in the apartment. First of all, you need a code to get in and the key. So, I mean, it would not be too easy for a stranger to get in here. Yes, my husband was with me when I got sick. And the funny thing, actually, there was nothing funny in the situation, but anyway, the funny thing was we were in a park. And my husband got worried because he never saw me getting sick before. I told him, just let me sit on the bench. You know, I had water. I put water, you know, all over me to cool off. I said, just let me sit and rest. But he got very scared because he thought that I don't look too good. I said, well, what can I say to that? We were in a park. I tried to explain to the ambulance driver, you know, dispatcher, where we are. And he's Egyptian. He speaks Hungarian. He speaks English. He speaks Arabic. He was trying to explain where we are. And he goes, she's sitting on a park bench. Now, this park was not exactly the middle of the street, the city. Because my wonderful husband decided in 37 degrees centigrade to go look at the cornfields. So you can imagine this park was out in nowhere's land. So he's trying to give location to the ambulance driver. Now, since nowadays our telephones are smarter than their owners, in my case, all he had to do was push a button when you're calling for, medical emergency or whatever, and it will give your location. But hubby was so upset at seeing this unusual, that his wife is not feeling well. And I kept on telling him, just let me sit quietly. I'll be okay. He couldn't tell the ambulance driver where we are. And then he's walking up and down in the middle of the street. Where's the ambulance? Where's the ambulance? I go, I don't think they know where you are. I mean, there's about 20 parks in this place. And as I said, we were out by the railroads, by the cornfield and the wheat field. So we were out there in no place. So finally, after, I told him I just need to sit, get myself together. So finally, I calmed down and I asked, what did you tell the ambulance? If they're not coming, tell them don't come because I will be okay. Well, it turned out I wasn't, but anyway, I'm stubborn. I said, you just need to push this button and it will give them the information as to our location. Because they have absolutely no idea where we are. And he's like, I told them we're in a park. I go, dear, we lived here 2 years. How many parks are there? So anyway, it was difficult to find us. Actually, hubby went out to the road and flagged them down. And according to the ambulance driver, and after giving me a quick once-over, and the little doctor in the ambulance said, no, we cannot let you walk home. We need to take you home in the ambulance. I said, oh, Lord, but you're not going to turn the siren on, are you? He goes, you don't want us? I go, no, I don't want you to turn it on. He goes, okay, we'll go nice and quietly. We'll take you home, give you a once-over again, to make sure everything is okay. They did the electrocardiogram and blood sugar and, quick neuro test, the usual routine. Everything was okay, except for the fact that I did have heat exhaustion. So they turned off the siren. And I said, okay, maybe we can slip into the apartment nice and quietly. I don't want to create a big scene. The driver was not aware of the fact that you could have pulled up right to the front door of the apartment house. No, he went into the parking lot half a block away. So there's 3 ambulance personnel and my husband bringing me home. So much for sneaking into the apartment nice and quiet without creating a big, scene. I said, oh, Lord. And then the little doctor from the ambulance was feeling right at home in my apartment. He sat down, looked at all the crafts I was doing, looked at my computer. He goes, oh, this is interesting. Oh, you speak English? I go, yeah. He goes, how come you speak English? I go, why? what concern is it of yours? But I didn't go into Karen mode. No. I said, I learned it. He goes, oh, how wonderful. I've been trying to learn how to speak English. I go, you want me to give you lessons right now? Or what is the point? He goes, oh, which school did you go to? I go, America? Oh, is there such a school named America? I go, no, there's a country named United States of America. He goes, oh, are you American? I go, good morning. You figured that out, did you? Oh, Lord. Sometimes I swear, honestly. So he was making himself right at home. Hubby started serving them soft drinks. I'm like, what are you going to do, adopt them? I mean, I got shipped home. Thank you. Bye. No. I go, what, you going to cook them dinner too? By this time, all I wanted to do was, get in the shower and put myself in order because, obviously, sweat was pouring down on me. So they're sitting around having chit-chat with my husband, and I'm like, excuse me, I'm half dead, but, just make yourself comfortable. It's okay. Just because I'll pass out in the middle of the shower, there's no reason for you to get concerned, I'm fine. And then they ask me if I need help taking a shower. I go, no. If I need help, there's my husband. He's not made out of sugar. He won't melt. And they're like, oh, here's your husband. I go, yeah, for more than 8 years. Why? I was getting, what concern is it of yours? I'm fine. I am in not immediate danger. I was given instructions if I start feeling worse or whatever, I should call back the ambulance. Fine, thank you. I don't need the papers because you can download them from the internet. That's a new thing here in Hungary. And my doctor will get the information from the same place. So everything was, fine. I really wanted to forget the whole episode. I was like, okay, could you guys leave? Now remember, the ambulance is parked in a parking lot, in a paying parking lot. I guess ambulances don't have to pay, do they? Anyway, it was interesting. I do not wish to repeat it. So this is why I was told to stay out of the sun for a while. And in a month, actually 3 weeks, because I had a blood test last week. So in 3 weeks, I have to go back for a second blood test to make sure everything is okay. I said, okay. Well, I know the blood sugar was 10. The normal over here is about 6. My blood sugar is usually 5.6. So it's right there where it's supposed to be. And at the blood test, it was already 5. So I suppose the ambulance doctor was right in assuming that it got a little high because I got a bit dehydrated in the heat and everything. But then a lot of people were suffering from the heat, but it was just unusual for me to be affected in such a way. This is why my doctor decided to have a large lab workup, because she was rather surprised at the events and, the fact that my blood sugar was a little bit high, which, I don't know how many years, at least 20. She's my doctor and she's never seen that. I really don't understand what was the big problem. I mean, it was after my birthday, and I had a piece of birthday cake that was left over, which is unusual for me to eat carbohydrates or cake or whatever. I simply don't like it. It just sits in my stomach and doesn't do anything. I'm sure there must be some condition to that. But so far we haven't been able to find anything like that. Okie doke. So we have more. This is the metal already over here on the top. So this is the railing. That's it. We're done with that. Okay. And this is gray. It's Y and an N. Y and an N symbol is the N, and is a dark, and the Y. So that's too dark right there. And then we have some green because the meadow starts above the fence, because that's where our girl is leaning on the fence, looking out over the meadow at the sheep. Okay guys, line up here. Really, we're having beautiful weather, perfect weather. After that heat wave, it's very refreshing. Some of our neighboring countries are having a hard time with flooding and what have you. I would think that they would be more prepared for floods, but evidently no. Yes, they said it's very unusual for them to be having such a problem. What can I say? There's nothing you can do about the weather, and Mother Nature will do whatever Mother Nature wants to do. Sometimes I think Mother Nature shakes its head and goes, let me remind you, I am Mother Nature. I am the boss. Don't think that you have me under your thumb or under control. Right? The weather is the weather. That's it. Nothing you can do about it. Make the best of it. I mean, it was weird that we had a winter without snow. You know, if it's winter, you expect to see snow. If it's summer, you expect to see heat, but not to these extremes. And of course, if you have such a heat wave, then when the cold front hits, you're going to have a doozy of a storm. It's only logical. I don't see why everyone was so surprised by it. It happens every year. That's how things work, right? By that time, you're like, I don't care if it's hailing dogs and cats, you know. I just want the heat to break. In this flat, definitely there should be air conditioning. On the other hand, we don't have that many days that you're in need of air conditioning. However, let me say, the ceiling fans have not stopped. In the last month, they're going day and night. And thank God that we installed them. At least during the night it cools off, and with the ceiling fans, it's a very comfortable temperature, you know. You even need a light cover. sometimes. So I really can't complain about it. It was a good idea. I thought it would be because there were ceiling fans in Egypt when I was there, and I know how effective they were. And things get hot over there in the summer. And a lot of times I just had the ceiling fans going. I did not even have the AC turned on. It was wonderful to be there. Things have changed since then, you know. But I don't know if it's because things change or we as human beings change, you know. You know the saying, you can never go home again, because when you left you were probably a child, and when you return you are an adult, and everything, even if nothing was changed in the house or moved or what have you, it's just different because now you are an adult and not a child anymore. So what seemed huge as a child is normal or small as an adult. Which is true, because I went back to my birthplace after I don't know how many decades of being away from there. And well, I lost most of my memory, but going back helped to put some of this, you know, some of these pictures that just pop into your head for no reason. Began to understand what they mean. So sometimes you have to go back and put things in their order and close a certain part of your past. You feel that way too? I definitely do. And it, you know, it's like people talk about homesickness. It is such a strong urge that it's like you must return and you must close certain sections of your past in order to move on, in order to understand many things that as a child, yes, I was a refugee during a revolution. You did not understand as a child why things happen. So this is what I mean. You sort of put things in their place. And once you put things in their place, then you move on. You don't dwell on the negative. You think about the positive. And the positive I kept on remembering was absolutely beautiful sunsets. Absolutely fantastic. Name me one sunset that is not fantastic, you know. I have seen many sunsets and I'm always amazed at the show that nature puts on for us for absolutely free. Beautiful. There's so much beauty in nature. Yes, I do love nature. I'm a water person, you know. Put me near a body of water. I don't care whether it's a pool, a lake, a river, what have you, and I'm happy. I can't imagine going on a vacation without water. I mean, you gotta have some sort of, you know, touch with water in it. Otherwise, it's not real. Yeah, I'm just, you know, weird like that. You don't have to agree so readily. Yeah, I know. I can see you laughing. Okay, let me see what we got here. Okay, so on the top, we're in the middle already. So actually we have reached the half mark of this very big canvas. swear I'm picking up drills you wouldn't believe. And you wouldn't believe where I find drills. And I'm not going to elaborate on that statement. I'm trying not to pop the tray, which I usually do. And then I go clean it up. Okay. And here we go. Good. Checking what drills I picked up on my arm. The drills absolutely love me. They cling and stick to me. Thank you very much for spending time with me this Tuesday afternoon. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Please hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you did, I thank you very, very much. I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Bye for now.